how to build a digital product from scratch. What's going on, guys? It's Jamie here. Thanks so much for joining me in this video. Having built a couple of digital products myself, I've got a couple of things I'd like to share with you regarding the very different ways that they've come together and how you can leverage some of the stuff that I've done, some of the mistakes that I've made in order to expedite what you're doing as far as your digital product development goes. Anyway, roll the intro. I'll catch you guys right after this. Hey, welcome back, guys. It's Jamie here. Thanks for joining me in today's video. If this is the first time on the channel, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. My name's Jamie. I'm a full-time affiliate marketer, digital ad strategist. I'm also a coach for a program. I've got over 600 students at the time recording, absolutely crushing it with their affiliate marketing. Just won the 2 Comma Club award from ClickFunnels earlier this year. Still waiting for that award any day now, any day. Anyway, if you'd like to stay up to date with what I'm up to, some of the experiments I'm doing with my business, and really learn the fundamentals of sales, marketing, offer creation from a no BS approach, feel free to hit the subscribe button, smash that bell icon to stay up to date with everything I'm putting out. All right, so I'm going to share a little bit of a tale with you today in terms of the digital products that I've created. And there's a very stark contrast between the ones I started with and the way that I do it now. And I think there's some very valuable lessons for you guys to pick up along the way. So in the beginning, the very first product that I launched was something called List Exploder. And the very abbreviated version of the story was I had something that was working and I was pretty happy to try and put it out there. And one of my mentors at the time said, look, you don't necessarily need to be, making a Rolls Royce here. You just need to be able to show some level of credibility that something you're doing is actually working and helping people, and basically wrap that up into a bit of a training and start selling it. I thought, okay, cool. So it all seemed very easy, and I've taken courses on how to deliver and build digital products at that time. And it still took me about 13 months for it all to come together. And we're talking about a $5 product here. It wasn't about, I think I launched it like $2. It was, anyway, I put a lot of time and effort into it. And I spent so much time worrying about the stuff that realistically just isn't that important. I spent so much time working on the funnel and how that would all come together, and whether this icon looked better in royal blue or green, or British racing green or navy blue, or whatever the case may be. And in the end, when I finally launched this thing, I did make sales. I thought, okay, this is cool. And it's a pretty amazing feeling, if you haven't gone down that pathway before, to essentially develop something and then sell your information online. It's a pretty cool feeling. So that happened, and I didn't make a bunch of cash. I think I made maybe a few $100 out of it. It was a really valuable lesson. So then, of course, the next product came along, and I thought I'd take a very similar approach. I had a couple of ideas that I wanted to wrap in together, and I just wanted it to be the most amazing product. So I combined 3 different things that I was doing at the time that were all working, and I put them into this training, and I filmed all these videos. I edited, and some of them I took like 500 takes for, things like that. And then I put this really nice sales page together, and I refined the copy and the color schemes, and I recorded and re-recorded the sales video and all that sort of stuff. And again, I finally launched. And it got some traction. I ended up making a few sales, and I think that course has probably made me, maybe a couple of grand or something like that now. But the problem with all this was the first one took me about 13 months. The second one took me around about 8 months to make. And it was just, for something that should have realistically been done in a very short time span, it took me way longer than I needed to. So that's the first 2 that I created. Here's the cool thing though. In all this time, I'm still building my audience. I'm still putting out goodwill to my audience. And if you're interested in checking out my Facebook group, there's a link below, but I do most of my stuff over there. So I was still building that audience up, still providing value and doing stuff and affiliate stuff and you name it, right? And so then when the next product came along, I was actually asked to collaborate, and teamed up with my mentor, who's now become my business partner and friend, and basically just said, hey, look, I want to collaborate. This is the idea, and this is what I think is missing in the affiliate world, and love to, kind of team up and go nuts with this thing. I thought, okay, that sounds awesome. And so I didn't, blink twice at the opportunity. But the cool thing was, we ended up selling 40 beta spots. This is a high ticket program. We rolled that out. It's $2.5K now at the time of recording. We rolled that out at, I think, $1,000 if I remember correctly. Sold 40 spots. Now the reason why this is really, really, really important for you guys to take away from this is that there was no funnels. There was no sales material at all. We had no students. There was no student results whatsoever. There was not even a single module drawn out at that stage. And so between my audience, I think I had maybe 400 or 500 people in my Facebook group, and conversely, I think there was about 1,800 in Jacob's group, if I remember correctly, something like that. We ended up over about 6.5 weeks, we ended up selling these 40 spots. And so why this is really, really powerful for you guys to understand is that we leveraged the brand and the clout that we had within our audiences in order to sell this thing. And the cool thing with that was, like I say, because of the relationship that we had with our audiences, their belief in what we were producing manifested, and they were willing to take a gamble on this. And of course, that has now transpired into the Super Affiliate Accelerator. And as I say, we've recently won the ClickFunnels 2 Common Club Award for that in February this year, in 2021. And it's been obviously a pretty awesome ride. So the point that I'm trying to make is that then turned into $1 million business out of nothing, out of an idea, out of a collaboration, basically. Now, the next course that I produced, I did the same thing. I thought, you know what, I like this whole idea of selling first and then delivering later, because it's the quickest way for you to test whether or not something is going to take on. And this has been a huge lesson from that I learned, is that instead of me spending 8+ months building out something that I had no idea whether or not was going to actually be of interest to the market, I took it the opposite direction. I went, you know what, let's just sell first and I'll deliver it, and then I'll chop it up into an evergreen product. And so that's essentially how I do all my digital products from this point on, is I want to sell first. I like that idea. You get paid in advance for doing the stuff rather than the other way around. And it's Pareto's principle, right? Like you fit the amount of stuff that you have to do into the time given. I think that's Pareto. Can always get confused. Parkinson's law, sorry, my bad. Anyway, you fit the amount of time shrinks or expands, or expands and shrinks, whatever that is, given the amount of time that you've got for the deadline, right? So if you're selling something and you know, okay, I've got to deliver this thing in a week, you make it happen. It just comes together, and it doesn't need to be perfect. Your audience is usually, if you communicate with them, they're usually pretty chilled out. And so anyway, the last product that I put together, it's a little workshop, and it's only a low ticket thing. It's $27. And basically the way that this transpired was, I put out a bait post and a little post in my group and just said, hey, think about launching this thing. It's going to be $27. Drop a comment if you'd like some more information about it. People dropped comments. At that stage, I had no idea what I was going to deliver on. I had no idea when it was going to be or anything like that. Reached out to the 5 people that commented. And as a joke, I said to one of the people, hey, I should just send you an invoice so that way I actually have to go through and do it. Ha ha ha. And so, guess what? He said yes. And so I thought, oh, okay, crap. Now I actually have to go ahead and do it. So I sent the invoice, paid the invoice, and then all of a sudden it became real. And so from there, started adding pieces. So I created a cart page, made it a little bit more legit, added some really incredible bonuses. So it made it absolute no-brainer. The cart page, nothing more than a cart page, converted at 22.7%. So 1 in 5 people were actually buying just from seeing the cart page, which is kind of cool, right? So then ended up with, I think it was 48 people in that program in the initial launch. Over a week and a half, I sold that. And I did the class. I did 2, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, which was not the greatest idea. I should have spaced it out throughout the course of the week. Then I took the recordings and I chopped them into modules. I launched it into an evergreen product, which is now going to be promoted by those people that have gone through that program. So the point that I'm trying to make with all this is that 2 things. Done is better than perfect. And always, always, always sell first and then deliver later and create later. Because I can assure you, if you put all this time and energy into developing something just because you think that the market needs it, when in reality you haven't actually even tested it, you're way better off just working out whether it's something that the audience actually wants before you go through and actually create it. So that's my big advice for anyone. Done is better than perfect. Just get it out there, test it. If it doesn't work, try another angle. If that doesn't work, try another concept. And if it does work and it takes hold and people want to jump on it and they buy the thing, go and record it, go and make it awesome after the fact. But you'll have a greater experience knowing that you've at least been able to get paid in advance for producing that asset. And then when you roll that into an evergreen product, it's even better. You're going to make money on and on and on with that asset. So anyway, hope this helps you guys out. My name's Jamie. I want to say a massive thanks for joining me in this video.